I'm going to Japan in 2 days and I'm bringing my drone, but as it turns out, Japan is becoming stricter when it comes to drone laws and regulations since June of last year. So if you want to fly your drone, you need to register it first and get it approved. I've got my application approved, but it's not a very straightforward process. So in this video, I'm going to try to explain to you as clearly and as simplified as possible how you can do the application and get it approved. So the updated requirement to fly your drone in Japan is that all drones above 100 grams need to be registered. This means that the sub 250 gram drones don't cut it anymore, so you still need to register those. All drones also need to have a remote ID functionality. I believe all newer drones should have this, but make sure that your drone in particular has this feature. If you're like me and you have a DJI Mini 2, then it should be enough to just do a firmware update in order to get remote ID. This information took quite some time for me to find out, but there you have it. And lastly, you need to pay a fee of 1,250 yen. Once you have paid and gotten your application approved, you need to print out the registration ID and attach it to your drone. Please note that this video is not legal advice, and you should always look up for yourself the local drone regulations in the place that you want to visit. I'm just showing you my experience with the application. The drone laws are subject to change at any point, but this is what was valid when I was traveling there. Now let's have a look at the application process. Click this button to start the UA registration application, and then select New Registration to start the registration process. Here you select how you will identify yourself. For foreigners, you use your passport. At this point, you will be met with a QR code. Here you need to use your phone to scan it, and this will take you to a page on your phone where you can scan your passport. I noticed that it's okay if your fingers are a little bit in the photo, because otherwise there is no way to hold the passport open. Make sure to avoid any reflection. The next step was a little bit tricky, but what you need to do basically is to just align the main passport page, and don't think about aligning the other pages of the passport into the frame. Moving on to the next step is to scan your face with your phone, and this part you just hold your phone steady and follow the instructions. The next step is the owner registration, and this part is pretty straightforward. I just entered my full name in the name section. The ID number 1 is already attached with a photo that you took in the previous step with your phone. ID number 2 needs to be identification that has your address written on it. In my case, I went to my Swedish tax agency and requested an extract of the population register of myself. Maybe you have something similar in your country that you can use. The next step is to register your UA or the drone itself, and here you just enter the information that is requested. For serial number, I scanned the QR code on my body of my DJI, and this took me to a Google search page, and the search string was basically the serial number of my drone. I just took that and copy-pasted it into this UA serial number field. For remote ID type, you can either have a built-in one or external one. External one is one that you buy and you attach it outside the drone yourself. Like I said earlier in this video, you need to have a remote ID. So selecting no will make you ineligible for registering the drone in Japan. For alteration, I selected not altered. Next page is the user registration. If the user is the same as the owner, then no additional information is needed here. So you just press yes and confirm the entered information. The last step is just to make sure that everything is correct. Once everything is correct, you just click on Apply for Registration. At this point, the page will just be loading, but what you need to do is to go to your email that you have entered during this process and find the email that they have just sent you. Inside that email, there is a link that you need to click, then the application page will stop loading. Now you just need to wait for the application to get processed, and for me it took about 7 days. Once you get it approved, you will get an email with the payment information where you pay the 1250 yen. Once you have paid for the application fee, you just wait for the final approval. For me it took around 2 days. And when it was finally approved, I just needed to print out the registration ID and attach it to my drone. I'm going to be traveling to Japan for about 2 weeks, and I hope I will get some nice drone shots. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see any of the footage that I shot with my drone when I was in Japan. And please leave a like if you found this video helpful. That's it for now, thank you for watching and see you next time.